latest football news,
engaging debates,
and fascinating opinions.
Pitchside Talk on IO Radio.
Yes, and welcome to Pitchside Talk on IO Radio. We're back for another week after another really good week. We've got an unchanged lineup because why change the lineup when it's working in the first place? So who is it?
You with me, Piers?
And me, Dan.
So what have we got coming on the show today, guys?
Well, we're speaking about the Premier League and the amazing fixtures, the Champions
Oh
League.
wait, and before you mention the last one, I want Dan to mention it.
Okay,
Yeah.
we've got a debate about Ipswich, haven't we?
Oh, I'm looking forward to
I am
it.
as well. I'm really looking forward to it.
Oh, this is going to be a fun show.
stay up to date with the latest footy news.
Pitchside Talk on IO Radio.
Yes, and welcome back to Pitchside Talk on IO Radio. And you're now joining us for a very interesting talk about the Premier League. So I think we should do this in chronological order. We're starting with Sunday, and that's not chronological order, but we're starting off with the first match on Sunday, Man City. How did they do against Crystal Palace?
Yeah, they played really well. I mean, Sterling with another 2 goals. What can you say? He must be up there for nomination for Player of the Year. And Man City have been flying. But I just think after that result with Liverpool, I just don't think they've quite got enough to still win it now.
Really well.
Yeah, I agree. I think looking at the fixtures, I think Liverpool have got an easier end to the season. Man City are on a good run, but it's going to be close, isn't it?
This could be very close. And we sort of, Man City, they got a very comfortable win against Crystal Palace. Did they look a bit scared really when Vidovic scored a very last minute goal?
Yeah, it's funny. You see with every one of Man City's big wins, they always seem to at least concede 1 or 2. So it just shows that they do have weak points. And with having Tottenham and Manchester United coming up in the next 2 games, I think they're going to get tested.
Yeah, as Piers just mentioned there, they've got Tottenham, Man U, and then Burnley inside 12 days. How tough is that going to be, Dan? Is there going to be points dropped there?
I think so. I think it's a very tough end to the season for Man City. Sorry, I just...
Very, very, very professional
Sorry.
here on IO Radio.
So yeah, I can see them slipping up. Maybe not against Burnley, but other games maybe. I could see them finishing second.
Well, we have just alluded to Liverpool's game against Chelsea. Piers, you're very a bit smug there, aren't you?
Yeah.
Maybe we should rewind the clock about 5 years ago. No, Liverpool won against Chelsea. Got some bittersweet revenge. Did Liverpool look really good against Chelsea?
Yeah, Liverpool looked amazing. I mean, the difference between what a Liverpool team would have done, let's say 5 years ago, compared to now, Liverpool seem to have no fear and don't care what team you are. They remind me a little bit like the Manchester City side that won the league last season, because they come out there and they put the pressure on Chelsea, and you saw what they done. That Mohamed Salah goal was absolutely amazing, and who can stop them now?
Well, yeah, who can stop them? But Dan, the last time Liverpool won against Chelsea at Anfield was back in 2011.
Wow.
And they haven't beaten them since. How much will this do for their confidence, really, going into this last sort of phase?
Yeah, definitely to beat a team that's in the top 4 as well. It's going to be a big boost for them. They're going out every game getting results. I feel like they could do it. They're really going for it now, and with the fixtures they got left, I think they can win the league.
Well,
You'll be happy about that.
I'm very happy about that, saying we can win the league, but I'm still not too sure about it.
Yeah.
Touch wood, we will win the league. But Chelsea, they would look really, really, really poor against Liverpool. Are their sort of top 4 hopes sort of disappearing? We sort of say this each week about a team, but with Tottenham, Arsenal and Man U winning over the weekend, is this going to really hamper their chances now?
Yeah, the funny thing is, I think the top 4 mainly relies on Manchester United and Tottenham on how they do in the next few fixtures, because obviously Tottenham have got Manchester City away, and then Man United have got Chelsea at home. If they win that game, I think that will sort of decide the top 4 for Chelsea, because Chelsea haven't even won at Manchester United since May 2013. So I think if Manchester United can win that and maybe get a result at Everton away, possibly a win, I think the top 4 will be almost decided with them and Tottenham.
Yeah, I think it's going to be tough for Chelsea going to the last few games. I mean, they've got Man United away. That's going to be a massive game.
That's a massive
top 4.
game.
They've also got Watford at home, so that's not always an easy task to play against Watford, as we know. So, yeah, I can't see Chelsea making it, to be honest.
Well, the one thing about Chelsea is they're going to be losing the game in hand because everyone's got a game in hand over them. Is that going to really hamper them?
Yeah, it is, and also they've got obviously Europa League on Thursday night. I know Arsenal have also got that, but then Arsenal have also got 2 games in hand. I think Chelsea, with their hit and miss form over this season, are really going to struggle to make top 4. They're just going to have to hope that they win the Europa League, I believe.
Really, for a big club like that, that's not good, is
Yeah.
it?
No.
And they've sort of been around the Premier League for the last challenge for the Premier League for the last few years. But no, going now down to the bottom end of the table, we've already got 2 teams relegated in Huddersfield and Fulham, and we've got a very tight battle. When I was sort of writing this, I thought, oh, it's not that tight. And then there was a game last night which I forgot about, my fault. Brighton played Cardiff, and Cardiff have pulled off I have to say, quite a stunning victory over Brighton.
Yeah, I was quite surprised actually. Cardiff, a while ago you would have thought Cardiff were definitely the ones to go down, but it's really close now. And seeing Brighton's last few fixtures, they've got some difficult teams coming up, haven't they, compared to Cardiff? Cardiff could get a few points on them, so it's going to be close.
Shall I read out what they've actually got left in fixtures? So Brighton first, they've got Wolves away, Tottenham away, Newcastle at home, Arsenal away, Man City final game of the season. I think the only place they could sort of get points is really Newcastle.
Yeah, I think their best chance is to try and win their home games, isn't it? But they've got Manchester City, which is the hardest thing. I don't know between Brighton and Cardiff, because both of them have won. I mean, Cardiff have only won 2 in their last 5, and Brighton have only won 1 in their last 5. So obviously, on paper, Cardiff have got a lot easier games, but I think it might go down to the final few.
Do you reckon? Well, Cardiff actually got their last games are Liverpool at home, Fulham away, which can still be quite a tricky one, even though Fulham are relegated, beating Everton on the weekend 2-0. Crystal Palace at home, then Manchester United away in their final game of the season. I could see, well, there's 2 big games there where they could get points.
Yeah, and the problem is they're playing teams that are also fighting for something, because you saw Manchester City and Manchester United last game of the season. One's fighting for Europe and one's fighting for the title. So it's 2 ends of the spectrum. One's fighting for the top and one's fighting to stay out of the bottom.
Yeah, well, yeah. So I have to ask you, who do you think will be in that final relegation spot? It's going to be really tough to predict, because Brighton could pull it off, because they are a very good, consistent team, but Cardiff could just pull a shock.
Yeah, it's a really tough one. Looking at Brighton's fixtures, I'd say Brighton, but you never know what could happen. But I am going to say Brighton. I think they'll finish at... I think they'll finish 18th. Cardiff will stay up.
Oh my God, I've forgotten already.
No, Cardiff will stay up. Brighton will go down. That's my prediction.
I think Cardiff will go down. I don't know what. I think with the fixtures they have are quite hard, and I think Brighton have a chance at winning their home games, even though if they play Manchester City, I think they can. I think they can get a couple points away as well.
Wow. So we've got 2 different opinions here. Let us know what your opinions are. Just, I don't know, put hashtag #IRadio on Twitter and we might find it. We might actually read it out. You never know. And when we come back, we're going to be talking about the Champions League that happened last night and also is happening tonight. Piers is already looking very happy.
Excited about that.
See, his team's not even in it and he's very happy.
Get the Ajax shirt ready.
Pitchside Talk, footy debate from the Premier League Outback.
Yes, welcome back to Pitchside Talk here on IO Radio. And, well, we're now going to be talking about the Champions League. And I think we should start off with Manchester United are a total messy, aren't they?
Yeah. Well,
Wow.
Very bad. I'm sorry. It's a bad pun. Okay, I'll start again. The Messi show ends Manchester United's Champions League glory.
yeah, he made a real mess of them, didn't he?
Oh, he made a mess of all of them. De Gea, Phil Jones, Chris Smalling. Well, Chris Smalling made a whole mess of him last time, so that's payback.
I don't really want to be too harsh on Manchester United, because I think they've done all right with the squad they have, and I think Barcelona are a great side, but Manchester United, they hadn't done very well in the Champions League anyway. They'd lost 5 games this season in the Champions League, so they lost twice to Barcelona, they lost to Juventus, PSG, and Valencia. So I think their time was coming. Obviously, they had an amazing game against PSG, but they were just outclassed, and I mean, Messi is magical.
Then how much work is needed to do to the Manchester United side, because that side looked really bad last night.
Yeah, it did. I think there's a lot of work needs put into it. I agree with Piers. I think that they've done well to get where they are, but it's always going to be tough to beat Barcelona. So yeah, I was kind of expecting that, I think.
Kind of expecting it. Well, yes. So, and also, how good is Messi?
Very good.
110 goals in Champions League. He's second in all time behind Cristiano Ronaldo, who we'll get onto soon.
Yeah, he actually has 45 goals this season, 10 more than anybody in Europe.
Wow.
Imagine him in the Premier League.
He would run
He would,
riot.
he would just tear the whole record books up. Beware Brighton. But no, that was a very fine night by them. Also, Barcelona, do they look like one of the favourites now?
Yeah, I think so. I think the teams that people need to worry about is them, Liverpool, who obviously they'll be facing next if Liverpool wins tonight, and even Ajax as well.
Well, yeah. Sorry if you heard a little bang there. That was Lionel Messi coming in there in the door. Really, he's entering with a bang.
Here.
He's here. He's coming on the show. But no, actually, Dan, you had a bit of an opinion actually because David De Gea didn't have a very good night.
Yeah, no, he didn't. I think he's a bit overrated, to be honest.
Fair enough.
I've seen him make a lot of mistakes in the last year or so. In the World Cup, he made a few. So yeah, I'm just going to put that out there. I think De Gea is overrated.
Also, he did make a very big mistake last night, wasn't it? When Messi sort of, I say, a tame shot went under him. It's like a Rob Green moment, if I remember quite correctly.
Yeah, I rate De Gea personally. I think he's a great goalkeeper. I think, yes, he had made mistakes, but if you were to pick another goalkeeper over him, I don't know who I would pick personally, so I'd still pick him as the best in the world.
And I'm not allowed to have an opinion because if I did, it would be invalid. Now, moving over into Turin and Ajax, when they came in, I remember you two said last week on the show that they have a good chance getting Juve. They sort of won't make it through. And they got a 1-1 against Juve. That's pretty good, isn't it? It's a pretty good result. But last night, how did they pull off a 2-1 victory against the Italian giants and also the favourites for the Champions League?
Yeah, it's crazy, isn't it? I mean, 2 years ago, Ajax and Manchester United were playing each other in the Europa League final. And now, Ajax are through to a Champions League semi-final. They're an amazing squad. I mean, they've only got an average age of 23. And to do that against the players, I mean, we were looking at the starting lineup for Juventus, and it's absolutely amazing with players like Cristiano Ronaldo, Dybala, Emre Can, Bernardeschi, and they scored 2 against them, and they done amazing. I think Ajax really have a chance, and I think between Manchester City and Tottenham, they shouldn't sleep on them.
Really? What about you, Dan? What do you think?
I was very surprised, actually. I thought the 1-1 draw was a great result, but yesterday they played so well, didn't they? All these young players. It's so good to see this young team coming through and now in the semi-final of the Champions League. And why can't they go further? They've done it against Real Madrid. They've done it against Juventus.
Well, I was actually that leads on to my next question. Can they really win this? Will this be like Porto 2005?
Well, yeah, why not? I mean, they're beating the 3 times in a row champions. They've just been the favourites. I think they'd have an easier fixture against Tottenham over Manchester City. But if they do, I mean, who can stop them? I mean, Barcelona and Liverpool could, but it's one game, and we know what they can do.
That is true.
Yeah, I mean, I think they could do it. I don't see why they should aim for anything else, really. They've proven that they can play against big sides. I think they'll have an easier game against Tottenham. But yeah, why not?
Well, I was actually reading some stats about Ajax, and this season actually they've gone through the Champions League qualifier this season. So they've been from the competition from the very beginning of the competition. Also, the last time they were in a semi-final was 1997, where they actually lost to Juve in the semi-finals, and they did win it in '95 as well. And that was with a young team. Yeah,
it's crazy, isn't it? It just shows. They remind me a little bit of a Leicester. It's not about who you have; it's about how you play. It's about the passion you have, the form. And I think that will be relatable when we speak about Ipswich a little bit later. That once you hit a bit of form, you can do anything. It doesn't matter who you play. That's what I believe, anyway.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. I think that the way they're playing, there's not much teams in Europe that can stop them. So
very, very bold. Well, moving on to tonight's fixtures, we'll sort of get over them quickly because we want to get on to Ipswich Town, don't we? I want to see Dan really get angry here.
Yeah.
So the first one is the Battle of Britain Part 2. Can Man City pull down a high-flying Spurs and break their European duck?
Yeah, it's a crazy game, isn't it? I didn't know that last time they played, there was 8 English players in the starting lineups. That's the most that there's ever been in a Champions League tie since the 2008 final. I think Manchester City have a good chance, but the problem is they've got to score 3. That's the mentality they have to go in with, because if Spurs come in and score 1, that could be it if they don't do it. And without Kane, even though Kane's probably one of their best players, Tottenham looked really good after that 4-0 win against Huddersfield. So I think Man City, even though they're losing, they're expected to win, but obviously no one would be surprised if Tottenham went through.
I would be surprised. So I'm going to read some stats down about Man City. The last time they won a quarter final was in 2015 against PSG, and that was 1-0. And they've never won one against a British team, and that's Liverpool, Tottenham, and Chelsea back in the 70s. This is looking very concerning. History's not on their side.
No, it isn't. It's a tough one, isn't it? Because they could easily go in and play amazing and win the game easily, but if Tottenham come in, score that first goal, that first away goal, as Piers said, they're going to have to score 3 goals. It's going to be tough for them. So it could go either way, I think. I can't say exactly who's going to win.
And also moving on to the Liverpool and Porto. They're leading 2-0 already. Are they sort of through, or do they need to just sort of get through this game tonight to then face, Barcelona?
Yeah, I think Liverpool are through. I think the form that they're in and the way their players are playing, they could really go for a double this season. I think Liverpool will walk through them. No disrespect to Porto, but I think Liverpool have just got such a good side at the moment, and the way they play football will be too easy. I think they will concede though. I think they might concede 1 or 2 because they are playing away, and Porto are a much better side than last time the two played. But I think Liverpool will still run right.
Yeah, I agree. I think they've got a much better squad than Porto. Obviously, they're not going to lie down and just yeah. But you just can't see anything but Liverpool winning this game.
Well, that's a very interesting opinion here on IO Radio. And when we come back, we're going to be talking about Ipswich Town. I can see
Hooray.
Danny's... Yay! Get the party poppers out, people. And also, sit down, grab a cup of tea or something, some popcorn, because this is going to be very entertaining.
Pitchside Talk on IO Radio.
Well, welcome back to Pitchside Talk on IO Radio. And we're now finally at the moment, Piers.
Finally.
The important bit.
And also Dan as well. So, we know that Ipswich Town are now relegated. They were relegated on Saturday against Birmingham after failing to win. They had to win something to stay up.
Yeah, but we were going to go down anyway.
Yeah, but we've got to put some sort of sadness on this. And so we know they're relegated, so we've got to go back to the start of this.
Okay.
And we're going to go back to Mick McCarthy.
Lovely.
Yes. Was it right to sack him?
Yes. I'm going to say that immediately. Yes, it was.
Why?
We needed change. The football was so poor. We were finishing mid-table over and over again. The relationship between Mick McCarthy and the fans was really poor. And I just think we needed to change. And that was the right decision. The bad decision was the person who came in after that, which I guess we'll get onto now.
We will get onto that person right now. So Paul Hurst was appointed. Hashtag a new era. I remember that hashtag, and I thought, all right then, let's see if this is a new era. And, well, he sort of came in quite dramatically. He had a lot of problems, sort of in pre-season and in the time he was there. What was his main problems?
Yeah, I'll try not to say too much because I'm sure Dan's got plenty to say. But I think the problems he had coming in is getting rid of players like Waghorn and telling McGoldrick that he's not in his plans, and then buying players from Accrington Stanley and Bristol Rovers, and then hoping that you can get some sort of promotion run. I think it was a little bit crazy to look at, really, and I think everybody was a little bit blinded when he first come in because obviously they were so excited with a new manager and they expected great things. But I think the problem started immediately when he joined, because obviously he lost a lot of relationships with players like Bartos, and obviously that must have just changed the morale in the team quite a lot. Yeah,
I think obviously it was the complete wrong decision to appoint someone who has had no championship experience whatsoever. Marcus Evans took a gamble and it hasn't worked, obviously.
No, it did not.
No. The players he sold... Look, you said about McGoldrick. I think that was a massive... He basically said, no, I don't want you. We sold him for nothing. He went to Sheffield United for absolutely nothing.
Look at him now.
He's an amazing player. How we sold him for nothing, I don't understand. And selling players like Waghorn, I mean, he probably would have gone anyway. I mean, Derby did bid 5 million, but selling Garner as well, our two best strikers last season. It's just, and replacing them with players from League One and League Two, it's just not going to make any success whatsoever. So,
Well, I'm going to read you something a bit concerning down here. That they sold 26 goals and brought in 10 this season.
that's depressing, isn't it?
That's very depressing. That's I think Waghorn got 16,
Yeah.
and I think Garner got 10 or something
10 or
like that.
11.
10, 11. It was something like that. I can't remember. But well, I should remember. I'm the one that wrote these down. So they sort of have problems away from the pitch. What about on the pitch? Did it change? Did their fortunes change whatsoever?
Well, no, obviously. Yeah, under Paul Hurst, it was so horrible to watch. I remember going to every game knowing that we're going to lose basically from the start. I mean, we've had injury problems with strikers. We only have 2 strikers fit at the moment. That's Quainer and Jackson, who've got, I don't know how many goals between them. 5 maybe.
Not many. Let's just say that, not many.
I mean, I think the performances under Paul Lambert, I mean, I'm going to mention him already. I think they've improved, but I think we were down by the time he took over under Paul Hurst. And I just hated going to watch under Paul Hurst.
So Piers, they had, so I think in the time that Paul Hurst was there, he only got 1 win, and that was away to Swansea 3-4, and he was sacked in November time?
Yeah, end of November.
End of November. Was he right to be sacked, or should he be given more time by Marcus Evans?
No, I think it was definitely the right time to be sacked. I mean, the way he treated his players, obviously off the pitch, and the results on the pitch were terrible. I think it was the right time to sack him, if not maybe just a little bit sooner. But I think the reason they kept him was just because of the amount of, I mean, I say how much money they spent on him, but the amount of players that they brought in.
But yeah, they brought in loads of players just looking here. It's like, it's crazy.
Yeah. It's too much. It's too
It's
much.
a recipe for disaster,
Yeah.
really. We've seen that with a lot of teams. Tottenham did it one year when they sold Bale, and they brought in I know we mentioned Premier League teams here, but they brought in 10, and then look how that backfired.
League,
That backfired drastically.
Yeah.
But then Paul Lambert came in, and he sort of lifted the mood, but did results change?
Well, no, they didn't. They didn't at all. I mean, we've only won 3 games since he's took over. So yeah.
I think maybe I should have put a spoiler warning on before we started this debate.
I like Paul Lambert. I think he's a good manager. I think January transfer window wasn't great for him. I think he brought in some good players, but obviously it wasn't enough to keep us up. The way he brought fans back together, I think that's what we're seeing the positive things. I mean, the reception the players got after games against Birmingham on Saturday was absolutely amazing. You wouldn't get that from any other relegated team, I don't think. So yeah, he's brought the fans together again, and I'm looking forward to next year, actually.
No, yeah, they definitely have a lot of problems. I just want to read you out that I think the amount of money that they've spent is also a problem. I know people say it's not always about money, it's about the players. But, I mean, they've only spent 8.3 million after the playoffs. I mean, that's a ridiculous amount of money. They got 8 million for Tyrone Mings. I mean, if you look at other teams in the league like Sheffield United, they've only been in the Championship 2 years, and they've already spent 11.
It's disgraceful for Marcus Evans, in my opinion. I mean, if you want to compete in the Championship, you need to put more money in than that. I mean, selling Mings for 8 million, and now we've only spent 8.3. It's so poor. Oh, I don't like Marcus Evans. I don't know if you've noticed.
No, I haven't noticed at all. I've only just noticed now. So I'm going to read something a bit concerning, Dan. So under Mick McCarthy last season, before he sort of sacked / left / ran out of contract / walked out. I think he just walked out already. So Ipswich scored 50 goals and conceded 52. And now under Paul Hurst and Paul Lambert, and I think they've got 4 games left.
Yeah.
So they have scored 35 and conceded 69. Where did it all go wrong? Because when I sort of look at them stats, I go, they should have just kept Mick McCarthy.
Oh, don't say that.
I'm sorry.
Please.
I'm gonna have to be.
I'm fed up with that comment.
I'm gonna have to say it.
I can see why you think that. I can see why you think that. But I think the mistake was, I think Marcus Evans has to have some blame for the transfer window in the summer. I think he let Paul Hurst do that. If he would have said, no, we need to keep one of these strikers, then he wouldn't have done. We would have had Garner or Waghorn, and we would have scored goals. We don't have a goal scorer at the moment, and also Webster left in the summer, and we haven't really replaced him. We brought Pennington in on loan. He was okay. We got Nsiala as well, but it's not enough, I don't think, to compete with the quality of Webster. So I think the transfer window in the summer was the main point of where it all went wrong.
Well, looking at it from a neutral perspective here, Biz. So Marcus Evans did release a statement when they got relegated. He sort of admitted blame for what happened in the summer. Do you think he's right to sort of admit the blame for what happened, or should it be sort of everybody really?
I think he should still take some of the blame. Obviously, as an owner, he must know that he hasn't put enough money in, because obviously he uses this club as a way to earn a little bit of profit, I believe. But I think him coming up with this statement, which I think's been just a little bit different than the one he brings out every year, shows that he must think about him a little bit. And yeah, putting up that Ipswich Town are financially stable, I guess for him personally, but as a club, as a football, I believe they are in crisis because they've just been relegated to League One and they've only won 4 games.
There you go.
See, when you read that, Dan, you see we are financially stable. How much does that frustrate you? Because that must send you through the roof, because literally, like, they're not spending money, and if you don't spend money, that is a recipe for disaster, really, isn't it?
Exactly. Yeah, when I read that, I was just like, what's wrong with you? How are we not in crisis? We've just been relegated to League One. I mean, we are financially stable, he says, but we spent absolutely nothing in the since the playoffs, basically. I don't know how we're going to get out of this.
Well, we're now so we're not going to talk about now. So Ipswich are now relegated. What sort of challenges does Paul Lambert now have to face in League One?
Yeah, it's going to be hard, isn't it? I mean, some of the teams in League One are quite good. I mean, some of these teams might be going up, but they've still got Sunderland, Portsmouth, Charlton, Doncaster, really, really good teams. I mean, some ex-Premier League teams. And then teams coming up, you've got Lincoln, who have already beaten Ipswich 2 years ago. I think they're going to have some real big games coming up next season. And I think obviously a lot of away fans will be coming to Ipswich because they've got the stadium. So it's not going to be easy for them. And when they go away, every time it's going to be almost a sellout.
Yeah. We can't go into this next season thinking we're going to absolutely storm the league. We really can't, because it's going to be really tough. We've got new cup competitions. We're going to be in the early stages of the FA Cup now.
Oh, you can actually win a round.
No, true. We got the Checkatrade Trophy as well, which I'm definitely looking forward to. So yeah, I think the transfer window coming up is a very crucial, and pre-season as well, to get the team right. So yeah, and it's going to be tough.
And what do you get the financial support from Marcus Evans?
He's just not going to put anything in, I don't think. From what he said, he looks like he's starting to rely on younger players coming through the academy. I think that's a good thing. But we need to spend some money if we're going to get out of this league. We can't just rely on young players. We need experience as well.
Yeah, the academy's good, but you can't use that as a way to save a little bit of money for yourself, can you? You've got to spend.
That is true. You have got to spend. Well, Ipswich are they're starting now their League One process. They released the season ticket prices today, which you're very happy about.
Yeah,
Dan.
I'm happy. I'm going to be paying £99, which is very good compared to I paid 118 last season.
Cool.
So yeah, and we've got this new Target thing.
Yes. So Town Targets.
Yeah, that's what it's called. Very
catchy name. So if more season tickets are sold, the cheaper the prices will come.
Yeah.
So if 12,000 sold, 10% will be sort of reduced on the season tickets. Mm-hmm. Then 13,000, 15%, and then 14,000, 20%. Is this sort of Ipswich going like, we know we're going to lose some people?
Yeah.
Is this sort of now like they're going, right, we need to bring in the support? Because when the support was there on the Rotherham games, which I went to, because they were cheap. I'm not paying full price. I'm going cheap. The support there was absolutely incredible.
Yeah.
For a game which was literally, 1-0, 18,000 people there. Do you think this is sort of now to sort of try and bring back the fans?
Yeah, definitely. I think it's a good thing that they're doing this. I mean, after the reception the players got on Saturday, I think that Marcus Evans realised that we need these fans together next year. And yeah, I don't think we're going to sell that many tickets, but that's going to be something that makes people come, and because they're going to get discounts. So, yeah, I think it's a great thing that they've done that.
Yeah, I was going to ask if you thought they were going to do it, because the season after they didn't get the playoffs, I believe they only got 14,000 season tickets. So it seems that they're trying to get 15,
Yeah.
and they've now just been relegated.
I think this season they sold 10,000. So they've lost 4,000 in that time already.
Yeah.
That's not good, is it?
No, it isn't.
And prices went up. And then I think, was it last season or this season that the prices sort of
Went
started
down
to
a
go
little
down
bit.
a little bit, but not too much, by about
No.
1%.
No, people still aren't happy with the prices. But yeah, I just don't know what's going to happen.
Well, I don't know what's going to
It's hard
happen.
to
But my
predict.
final two questions are, who is to blame fully for this relegation?
I don't think we can blame someone fully. I think.
Or okay, all right, partly then.
Yeah, I think Marcus Evans could probably take 70% of the blame, maybe a bit more. I think Paul Hurst can play a big part in that. I don't know who else, but
Maybe
yeah.
Lambert. I know you love him
Maybe,
so much. Can he?
maybe.
Because he's had the team for a long time.
Yeah.
Had it longer than
Yeah, true.
Paul
true.
Hurst. He's had a window,
Yeah,
and it sort of
I think-
hasn't changed after that.
I'll give him 5%. That's all right.
Oh god.
I do like Paul Lambert.
What
So-
about you, Piers? Who do you think is sort of to blame or to partly to blame?
I think the main person to blame is obviously Paul Hurst. I think the way he come in and treat his players obviously wasn't right, and what he'd done in the transfer window wasn't good enough. I mean, Mark Evans can't make him sign players, can they? Can't make him get rid of players, but obviously the poor financial back end is also a problem. And I think even the players are a little bit to blame, because obviously I reckon once Hurst was sacked and they were at the bottom, they probably lost morale. And as I was speaking earlier about momentum, I reckon they had a lot of downwards momentum, which Paul Lambert probably had a big struggle about. And I think that was one of the key factors why they went down as well.
And also, final question: did they really deserve to get relegated?
Yeah,
Yes.
definitely.
That's just solid.
That's just my answer.
Is that 100%?
Yeah.
Or is that 99.999?
No, 100%.
100%.
We definitely deserve to go down.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep, you agree.
Yeah.
Well, we got that over now, didn't we?
Breathe.
Breathe now, Dan. Please breathe. Please breathe. You've just turned blue and all sorts of different colours in that interview there. I think you feel quite good now, don't you?
Yeah.
The best place in Ipswich to hear the latest football debates, Pitchside Talk on IO Radio.
Well, welcome back to Pitchside Talk. Dan has recovered.
I have.
He has made a full recovery quite quickly. Well, that is the end of the show. We've got an extra long one today with Dan's very
Yeah, I'm
good
sorry,
rant.
everyone.
That's absolutely fine. You're making the show more entertaining. We're all laughing and we're all trying to now breathe properly. Well, what have we got coming up next week on the show?
Yeah, we're speaking about the Premier League, maybe the who will be the player of the season and the managers, and obviously we'll have another amazing debate about England.
Oh, see, that'd be a nice one because Dan won't get angry.
I won't get angry this time.
That'd be a good one.
Probably
Well,
can't.
thanks for listening to the show. If you want to listen to the show again, you can find us on Mixcloud at IO Radio UK on the Mixcloud page, or you can search on YouTube Pitchside Talk, and you can listen to last week's show as a podcast.
Amazing, isn't it?
It's
Yeah.
amazing. That's what I do on a Thursday, that is, editing the show. So all the hard work goes back into YouTube. And also this show will be up there on Thursday, maybe afternoon. So yeah, well, thanks for listening to the show, and I hope you tune in next week.
Yeah, cheers.
Ciao.
The whistle has been blown for full time. Tune in next week for another jam-packed show.